Hey, my name's Tom, and about half a year ago, I quit my job back home in Germany. I left everything I had behind to go on a 5 months adventure across 7 countries, and this is my story. In the last episode, I took the plane from Auckland to Sydney to discover the city for a week before flying on to Bali. On day 3, I did the Bondi to Coogee beach walk with Trish, who I met in Auckland, and on a following day, did a day trip to the Blue Mountains with a bunch of people from my hostel. All rounded up with a barbecue in the evening. My last day I spent with yet another walk to Manly Beach with some of the people from my hostel. While my time in Sydney was nice, I was really looking forward to dive right into my next destination, the beautiful island of Bali. Welcome to Bali. This is my first day here in Bali. I came here yesterday to Canggu, arrived super late, was pretty tired, didn't do much in the evening, basically went straight to bed. The hostel is amazing, it looks like a 5-star resort and it's super cheap. It's like 13 euros, which is actually expensive for a hostel in Bali, but it's well worth the money, I feel. They have like a free dinner tonight and all these cool things, pool, it's just amazing. So what I did, very first thing in the morning, was to hire a scooter because I really wanted to experience what traffic in Bali is like. And oh, it's intense. Like you really have to reconfigure yourself when you're from Germany, where everybody sticks to the rules, and then coming to Bali, the traffic is, very interesting. But yeah, hired a scooter, didn't die yet, and then the first thing I did was getting a haircut, which is hard to see now because I wore the helmet all day, and then the cap, of course, but yeah, that was the very first thing, and I was so looking forward to getting a cheap haircut here. Now I'm at a temple, I think. I actually wanted to visit another temple, the Tanah Lot temple, but then I came there and I didn't know it had an admission fee, and I only had like 45,000 Balinesian rupee with me, and that was not enough. It's actually 60,000 rupee that you have to have, and I didn't have them, so I just went around and looked for nice places, and I found this temple around me. This is beautiful, it's quiet, there's no one around. I'm actually not sure whether I'm allowed to film here, but I'm doing it anyways until somebody says that I can't. Yeah, it's like a nice place. I thought I'd take the quietness of this place to recap Australia. So the 1 week Australia, it was actually nice. But I have to say, to the very last day, I just had a problem with how busy and big the city is, and also how busy and big, but yet anonymous, the hostel was. It was just crazy big, and it was all these long-term people staying there, and of course they're not too interested in talking to people who just show up and then leave the other day. But yeah, it was just kind of, I don't know, it didn't feel really cozy. It was very big. My room was incredibly loud, not the people, but it was right next to the street. But because it was so hot, we had to have the window open to have some cool air inside, but then you could hardly sleep. So I think I had a constant lack of sleep during the week. I didn't feel like I wanted to be in a big city any longer. I'm also not in a big hostel any longer. It was just stressing me out. Probably I just had too much of the quiet New Zealand life for too many weeks, and I got so used to it that it was hard for me to adapt to a big city. So, and I think for now it's just getting back to my now hostel and enjoy the community dinner, which will be typically Indonesian. Really looking forward to that one. The community dinner was delicious, and I spent the last evening in one of the many bars in Canggu with some of the people from the hostel. The next morning I used for a short visit to the beach, where I had the first of many big-ass coconuts in my time in Bali. To this day, the Bali coconuts are unmatched for me in size and taste compared to the ones in Vietnam and Thailand. On the following day, I shared a taxi with a few people to get to Ubud, where I wanted to attend the Mount Batur sunrise hike and do a few other things. I'm now in Ubud and everything here is like, I'd say, different to Canggu. It's like less busy. It's also busy of course, but it feels less busy, and also the hostel is very different. It feels like this has been used as a temple or something and now is a hostel because you have all these kind of temple buildings around. Yeah, it's very interesting. There's like no one here. I'm on the rooftop, which is essentially like the community space I think for this hostel, but there's like no one here. Yeah, it's a bit different to the Canggu hostel, which was very vibrant and like a lot of people around the pool and things. I wish they had a pool here because it's really hot. They don't, but yeah. Also, I feel like I need to do a fair bit of planning because there's so many things to do in Ubud that I just need to align these things. But I only have 3 nights here, and there's the Mount Batur sunrise walk, and then there's the rafting, and there's some other hikes that you can do, and then cooking classes. There's like so much. And so I feel like, yeah, I just like need to align these things and kind of arrange myself around these 3 days and cannot be too lazy in the planning. But then at the other end, I feel a bit lazy and like a bit tired of planning out things. But I feel like I definitely need to pick this up again to make the best of this trip. I strolled around the nightly Ubud for a bit before meeting up with 2 Scottish guys, Lachlan and Hamish, who I met the night before in Canggu and who are also in Ubud now. They brought along Sophia and Emmy from Sweden, and we had a really good night out with some drinks and really good live music. Little did I know that I was gonna meet Hamish again weeks later in Thailand to travel almost all of Thailand and Laos with him. I used the next day to explore one of Ubud's many temples. Despite all of them looking ancient, many of them are not more than 100 years old, with the humidity taking its toll on their building materials, making them look way older than they are. I decided to skip the rafting and joined the Scots and the Swedes once again to go to a waterfall that was supposed to be super nice.
Yeah, but I thought it'd be quite cute.
How's it going?
Alright. How's it going?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Packed.
We got a bit lost on the way though, struggling with Google Maps.
It's not my navigation skills, it's literally my application doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's like, it sounds like a stupid excuse, but you agree with me.
Once we arrived, we first had to appreciate the unusual artwork of that place.
I can get that on a postcard.
Yes, it's gorgeous. I love it.
It's actually super nice that we have it all to ourselves, apart from 2 other people down there. But the rest is just for us.
The place got busier with time, but we still had a blast just bathing and chatting. Also, I took the opportunity to get my drone in the air once more. Waiting on the cab back to Ubud, Sophia shared her appreciation for Balinese massages with us.
So.
It was good and
Yeah.
it was cheap. Like like if you're a biggest massage snob, maybe. It's not like.
No, I mean, I've never had one, so yeah.
Oh, the hand massage or the foot massage. Oof.
Ooh, just the memories.
Oh,
Just
the
the
memories,
memory.
man.
That's so cool. What a way to get dropped off.
Yeah.
That is an
Proper
awesome
school bus.
Think of riding that to school. Like you.
That is so cool.
I would feel like the coolest kid ever.
Yeah.
So it is another day in Ubud, and I was supposed to be on the summit of a mountain right now because I wanted to do the Mount Batur summit hike, which starts at 2 in the night, and then you get up there and then you can see the sunrise. And yeah, I was really looking forward to do this, but then yesterday I caught something like a flu, so I got like a really sore throat. And when I was waking up this night to actually get up and do the hike, it felt really bad. So I felt like I was getting on my tonsils. And I have this quite often, so I knew if I was gonna do the hike now and not gonna like rest, then I might be like super messed up tomorrow, and then the following days I need like antibiotics and all these things. So I called off the hike, which is actually a shame because I really wanted to do this and thought I'd put in a bit of a rest day. So I went to sleep again, woke up, and it already felt much better. I still feel it, but yeah, it already felt much better. So what I'm doing instead, meet up with Catherine, who I met to get the cab from Canggu to Ubud, and then we're gonna go to a big water temple. There's like an hour from here. Let's get to the Ubud water temple.
Sometimes it's kind of tough to believe that this Ubud is like the relaxed, laid back and more chilled city. Because when you check out the traffic that they have during the day and during the night, this is definitely a very, very different, relaxed and laid back and chilled and quiet vibe than what I would call it. But yeah, this is just how things go here.
As soon as we left Ubud to go to Tirtha Ampul, one of the holy water temples in the Ubud area, we were soon surrounded by the lush green rice fields that turned Ubud into an absolute Instagram hotspot. Once we got to Tirtha Ampul, it became obvious that we weren't the only ones to attend the purification ritual at the 1,000-ish years old sacred site. The place was absolutely overrun by tourists, yet attending the ritual was a really nice and refreshing thing to experience.
Today is actually my last day in Ubud, and I'm leaving soon-ish, and I have the typical backpacker traveler struggle, so I booked ferry tickets, then saw a YouTube video about that there's a different ferry company operating from a different harbour, which is so much better than the one I booked for, or booked at. And yeah, so then I asked the guy in my hostel, like the owner of the hostel, whether he could book me into that one, and then there was also a girl supposed to be coming with, and we was going to share the ride, and then we found out that we want to go to different islands, and that yeah, it all doesn't work out with the timing because my boat leaves earlier than hers and she doesn't want to leave that early, and now I'm like all over the place and I don't really know what to do. So she wants to keep me posted whether she's actually sharing the ride. But yeah, we essentially have to go back to a different harbor than the one that I booked at, but now it turns out if we want to share the ride, then we have to go to that one because boats from the harbor I wanted to go to, they don't leave to the island she wants to go. Whatever, so it's massively interesting and all a bit of a juggle. But yeah, I'll try to not get too bothered by this. So what I do instead is I'm here at some rice fields and do like a little rice field walk, just to kind of relax and try to get the drone up again and get some nature in before getting into the traffic of Bali and Indonesia again to get to the ferry. And then off to Nusa Penida, which I'm so excited for because it's supposed to be a lot more laid back there and relaxed. And yeah, very much looking forward to this. But for now, it's rice field time.
I gotta say, I expected Ubud to be less busy and hectic. Yet I had some really good but somewhat slower days than I had expected by not making use of even half of the things that Ubud offers. I wasn't sad to leave this place, however, as I was really looking forward to go to what was coming next, the beautiful island of Nusa Penida.
And I stood up really early to be able to say, welcome to a very, very empty Kalinking beach.